We got another chapter of Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest, and I really like this one because not only does it set up Natsu jumping back into the fray, giving us some interesting information as to what these flames of Bestia are and could allude to her actual true identity. We catch up with the rest of Fairy Tale and them learning about the situation and what they might be doing, while also setting up for a fan favorite character, one of my personal favorite characters, showing back up in this arc and actually doing something, and setting up for a really, really awesome team up that I really, really want to see happen. But before we jump right into this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps and it shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel and shows you want to see more. I got a couple of Fairy Tale videos in the works in the background that'll come out probably next month after this video comes out, so we'll see. I'm going to try and build up some videos on the back burner in advance so I can just give you guys some more content that isn't rushed between chapters, so look forward to that. But let's just jump right into this chapter. Chapter 197 of 100 Years Quest, The Flames Smell. And obviously we're 3 more chapters away from chapter 200, which is a big milestone. I'm really hoping we get something big in chapter 200, because I really feel like that could be a big reveal or really cool fight to be shown. Cover images, all the Dragon Slayers exceeds, dancing. That's it, dance lessons, that's really it. Nice, adorable, but we move on. We actually see the dragonification happening across Giltina as we see people start to turn into dragons, with Freed looking at the situation, wondering what's going on, with Mest. Hi, Mest. Can you see my enthusiasm that Mest is in the story again? Anyway, Mest tells Freed that they gotta hurry up and leave, with Freed seeing that the regular people are turning into dragons. As we come back to Fairy Tale, for the first time in like nearly 100 chapters, it has been that long since we have seen the guild hall, with Makarov seeing the situation of what's happening in Giltina. Freed saying that Alderaan seems to be the source, and so defeating him again might stop it. With everyone talking about how Gajil and the others headed towards Alderaan in the first place, still not elaborating as to why else they got there or how they got there. My whole thing is that Mest, since he was in Giltina with Freed, they basically gave them transportation to go to that location seemingly, so by retroactive reasoning, that is how they made it to Alderaan in the first place. But I was also just repeating that Team B minus Kana went to Alderaan, with Hirna talking about Eric and basically being worried for him. She is his fiancée after all. But it's then that Macau and the others say, we just gotta go beat him up one more time, right? Let's all go. Let's storm Giltina. We got this. With Macau being like, come on now. What could we even do there? As the Z team say that they managed to beat a tough opponent last time, and yeah, they can handle this. With Romeo telling them that didn't you manage to do that with Wendy's help though, which I also find hilarious. But that was also a really cool moment, giving the Z-list characters something to do, and it was very much appreciated. I also find it funny that Makro was like, look guys, it was tough last time. Everyone's powered up and there is dragons everywhere. What are we gonna do right now? Fairy Tale might be the strongest guild in all of Fiare, but even Makarov can concede that, yeah, if we all went, it wouldn't do much to help. Now, Lucky says that they just gotta trust in Natsu and the others like usual, right? With Biska also saying they got Erza over there, so they should be fine. But Bigso mentions, okay, that's being said, where's Laxus? As everyone looks over and is like, wait, what? With Makarov realizing that Laxus left, there's like, that idiot. As we then cut to Laxus on a cliff edge, staring down at Giltina, alone, like the true badass that he is. Can you tell that I am just going to glaze every aspect of Laxus whenever he's on screen? I did that back in the Dagramog arc. I'm going to do this with every instance of Laxus now that he's finally in this arc like I wanted. But anyway, Laxus is walking around wondering where he is and what's going on. He should have followed Gajil and the others, so obviously showcasing that Laxus, when he saw that Gajil and the others were going somewhere, he decided to tag along without them realizing, and my guess, he let go of Mest or something happened and he kind of got dropped off at a random part in Giltina. But it's then that he comes across someone in the fog, and it's Misfortune, as Lox is like, wait, is that a cat over there? Now she seems obviously distraught and collapses on the ground, with laxus going to her and wondering if she's okay, as she just laments that she couldn't stop him. She tried to stop him, but she couldn't, with laxus wondering what she's talking about. With laxus going over to grab her and saying we should get out of here, Misfortune says, don't touch me, I'm going to burn you. And that's when probably one of the most wholesome faces, laxus just says, I'm used to fire. Obviously, probably because like she probably doesn't have flames high enough like Natsu's to actually like be even a bit of an inconvenience for him, which is actually kind of sweet. Which touches Misfortune's heart, and off in the distance we have Freed probably sensing something is off with the person that he obviously has feelings for, saying like, you will not replace me. You can't have my spot. Which, yeah, in like a anniversary one-shot commemorating the release of the 100th Quest anime, Mashima did like a whole one-shot chapter, and with the other Dragon Slayers of Fairy Tail having like the X-Seeds on their back, Freed was taking the place of the X-Seed holding laxus in the air like he was the X-Seed helping him fly, which I find hilarious. This also might set up, hey, maybe Misfortune could just end up being laxus's X-Seed now, giving pretty much every Dragon Slayer a type of flying companion. We'll say for Eric at this point, since his flying companion is now a human, but that's besides the point. That would actually be kind of funny. But Misfortune says that she wanted to stop Ignia, with that catching laxus's eye, wondering, wait, you mean one of the 5 dragon gods? Yeah, Misfortune says, yeah, that's what he's called. As laxus says with an intimidating look, where is he? With lightning crackling from his eyes. We all know laxus wants a piece of that action right now. We get a brief glimpse of Alderaan, as now all the fights have essentially been finished now, with Natsu looking on, with Natsu just saying, hey, there's only one of your guys left, with Beastia saying, look, those are my guys, are you an idiot? Those are Ferris's people. They are members of my guild. With Natsu cheering for Gagio, saying, you got him, you can take him down. But it's then that Beastia realizes that Natsu's arms are free. He's cheering and he's pumping his fist in the air, twirling it around, as this comes as an absolute shock, asking how is he even moving? With Natsu still gobbling up her flames, saying, these flames are pretty tasty. They're amazing. As she's confused, as he shouldn't even be able to move at all. But Natsu's getting ready to go after Ignia. But it's then he realizes something, looks down at the flames in his hands, as he says, these flames, flashing back to what Misfortune said, saying that being able to eat Beastia's special flames, if you eat those, it might awaken your power. As Beastia is confused at Natsu, as he begins to sniff at the flames, as he says, I knew it. They smell like Ignia. As Beastia has this lamenting and sad look in her eyes, as we got the flashbacks of Natsu being raised by Ignia, to Ignia being released from within Natsu during Tartarus, and Ignia's final moments, which is a really big thing to really point out again, with Natsu then taking this serious moment that we can speculate on, and immediately thinks that Ignia was reincarnated, with Beastia saying, you're mistaken. But right before Beastia can explain who she is, a flash of light appears, as a portal opens up, with Misfortune popping out to see Natsu in Beastia's area, with her going up to Beastia and just both of them having a nonchalant conversation. Hey, Misfortune, I heard you betrayed us, with Misfortune being like, yeah, I want to stop Ignia, I'm just wondering where he is. That's then popping up behind her, laxus pops in through the portal, which is the Aqua Era thing that Ferris and Toka use to travel between dimensions, as Natsu is excited to see laxus here, with Beastia wondering, how the heck did you enter my dimension in the first place, with Misfortune confirming that she has gotten the Aqua Era thing so she can traverse dimensions. Kind of a casual drop there, but I'm going to let that slide because it's a really fun moment. Natsu and laxus have a moment, and Beastia is just telling them, you're all doing whatever you please in my dimension. I wanted to finish up this section before I explain even more. But the idea that Beastia's flames, not Ignia's, Beastia's flames smell like Ignia's implies that these are similar to an extent to Ignia's fire. This could mean a whole bunch of things, and the fact that Beastia being talked about with Ignia's name, having this lamented look when she is told that her flames smell like Ignia's, and was about to tell Natsu begrudgingly who she actually is, that's when Misfortune and laxus show up. So who could Bestia actually be? Many people originally said that she is probably the person that Ignia got with to have wed. Now that would make immediate sense based off of the appearance of Bestia, and thus wed being a half-human, half-dragon, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So there are a couple of things we can glean from this, considering the fact that eating Bestia's flames, them smelling like Ignial, and Natsu is supposed to get a power-up from these flames. Cutting it down, I think Bestia is one of two things. Either A, maybe she is Ignial's sister. That would explain the similarities in the sense of their flames, considering that they're roughly, two powerful fire dragons seemingly, or is connected to Ignial in some way with the fire. Or B, she's Ignial's wife, and she is Ignia's mother, and that's why they're connected at the hip. Maybe that's why she has this dragon type of form. Maybe she doesn't want to fully give up her dragon side, and that could also explain in some weird way in terms of the fire being connected to, similar to Ignial's, because as two fire dragons, they probably eat each other's flames, they probably combine powers at some point, and obviously birthed Ignia. That's a very strong possibility. And by Natsu eating the flames similar to Ignial's, or pretty much almost exactly the same, this could just trigger something within his cells and his Dragon Slayer magic that he got from Ignial, the Fire Dragon King power, and probably gives it a massive boost. As, when we cut back to the chapter, Laxus tells Natsu, let's go, and then Natsu thanks Bestia for the treat, as, with a massive grin on his face, with his flames erupting from around him, even engulfing his scarf, which is made of Ignial's scales, says, these flames are great. Eating them gave me a real power boost, with Laxus smiling, and Bestia just annoyed and concerned with everything that she's just seeing, as the chapter ends. Now these are actual dragon flames. This will probably be a permanent power boost to base Natsu at this point, which is incredible. Now either the scarf being engrossed in flames is a way of showing a different side of Natsu's power, making the flames being a part of his scarf just being an extension of his strength, or just for visual effect and flair, for all we know. But either way, the flames being connected to Ignial in some way, smelling like Ignial's, and giving him an awakening of his true power. Either A, it's starting to unleash more of the Dragon Slayer power within Natsu from Ignia, if he's directly eating more of the flames that are from or similar to Ignial. That is a lot. That could give him a much more stronger mastery of like Dragon Force, a more complete Dragon Force, maybe even a new transformation or advancement in Dragon Force for all we know, or just a powered up Fire Dragon King mode. Possibilities are endless. But I am curious to see, who Bestia actually is. Is she Ignial's sister? His wife? Maybe even a human companion at some point? Who knows? But the key is Ignial's fire, or the scent of Ignial's fire on her flames. And lastly, Laxus showing up. I'm glad we had an update with the guild, but the fact that Laxus is there shows that we're going to get some really cool stuff right now. We're probably going to finish Gajiel's section with Zero soon, and then we're going to continue off with the fight with Selene and Alderone, and then, I would love to see this happen, Laxus and Natsu having a tag team against Ignia. Well, everything's being set up for Natsu to 1v1 Ignia. I would love it if Laxus teamed up with Natsu, because these two never really have a fight together. It would be really, really cool. But based on how things are going right now, Bestia is still injured, I guess, from her fight with Ferris, but it would be interesting if she fights Laxus, while Misfortune takes Natsu to go face Ignia. That could be a very strong possibility, and then Natsu has to come face to face with the Calamity Bloods. There's a lot that could happen in the next couple of chapters, and I'm actually excited again. It was very obvious the last couple of chapters that I've had a lot of mixed feelings and disappointments with this arc, especially from how the Demons of Ferris were handled, to how some of the fights were done. But I will say, Laxus showing back up. Every moment of him is great. Seemingly teaming up with Natsu, we're going to fight Bestia. The power-up of Natsu now that he's free again, and we'll probably go out to fight Ignia. There is a lot to look forward to, and I am excited. But you let me know what you think. What do you think the importance and significance of Bestia's flames smelling like Ignial's and giving Natsu a power boost like Misfortune said, as her flames are, quote-unquote, special? How do you feel about Laxus finally joining the fray, considering the fact that a lot of people would probably want Laxus to be here, I know I did, or do you think it's unnecessary to bring Laxus into this? And what do you think is going to happen going over with future chapters and how things are going to go? Leave your thoughts in the comments section down below. And once more, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps and it shows you guys all the content I make here on the channel and shows you want to see more. And with all that said and done, hope you all have an awesome day, and keep getting fired up.